Okay, please confirm that you can hear me. I know we've talked again before, but I refreshed my screen, so chances are that you might not be hearing me. So, are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, Karibuni Sana. I am happy to see you in Jerry. It's been a minute. Joseph, thank you for being here and thank you for the inspiration for this. So, I'm going to start sharing my screen in a minute and then we can start. I'd like to hopefully record this. I hope it's going to record very well so that other people can watch later, whoever isn't able to join and whoever would like to. So, in a minute, I'm sharing my screen. Please let me know whether you can see my name on the screen.
Yes.
Okay, good. So, Karibu Sana, this is our webinar for today. We are going to be looking at the ABCs of publishing, just making publishing very, very easy. We have had a class on WhatsApp for 10, we've had 9 sessions, and this is our 10th session, which is also the final session. So, my friend here, Joseph, came up with a wonderful idea of us finishing in this way. So, here we are finishing our class with a webinar so that we'll be looking at the last class of the day, but during this session. I will do a recap of the things that we have covered during the class. And then as I work myself towards the end, you'll be able to see the whole class in a nutshell. Of course, it is better to get into class and have all the class information in little bits so that it's not difficult for you to follow through. But now that we are here, we might as well get started. So as you can see on the screen, my name is Gladys Gishuhe, and I am born again. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about me. So here we are. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about me. And so the agenda for today is about me, about Amazing Life Publishing House, what we do at Amazing Life Mentorship Network because they are related, and then we'll have a Q&A session. So I am a publishing specialist, which means that I have specialized in the world of publishing, all the way from having an idea in your mind to having the book in your hands or the book being sold around the world. I'm also an educator in the sense that I teach, such as today and what I've been doing in the group, and also at Kenyatta University, where I'm a lecturer. And I am an author of a couple of books. I will be showing you that later on. And those are the areas that I mainly focus on. So, what I hope to do with my life is to inspire beyond time and space by having positive contribution and constructive participation in the things that I do, in the places that I'm in. When I talk about inspiring beyond time and space, it means that when I say, for example, write a book, that book can be read by 10 people at the same time, which is something that I cannot do at the same time if I was just an individual. And beyond space, when the book is being read by 10 people, it is being read by 10 people in 10 different locations. And of course, after I am gone, my books are going to remain and they're going to continue touching people's lives. That is what I hope to do with my life. So I am a wife, I am a mom, I'm a lecturer. I'm also a PhD information science student at Kenyatta University, and I'm an author. And I do wife and mom is at home. Kenyatta University is where I teach and study, and at Amazing Life Publishing House, I do a lot of the practice of publishing. Why do I do the things that I do? I do that so that people can discover their identity, their worth, and their purpose. And this is through events, publications, and digital platforms. By training, I also mentor those who are coming up and coaching as well. And through the resources that we have, because we are a Christian publishing house, people are able to serve the Lord, know the Lord, and serve the Lord in different ways. The books do the work of evangelism because by reading the books, people get to know Jesus. Then that leads to discipleship, where they grow more and more in the knowledge of Jesus Christ. And then there's fellowship, because you're really fellowshipping with the author, even though you can't see the author. But eventually, people get to meet with the authors or talk with them online. So that is fellowship. Ministry, people are inspired to minister to other people by sharing their stories. And then worship, because when you read the books that we publish, you can't help but say, oh my God, oh my goodness. And then you're able to praise the Lord and worship Him and give Him glory for the things that He has done in the lives of other people, which again continues to encourage you to trust in Him more. And then you want to share your story, evangelism, the whole cycle continues over and over again. So, how do I do these things? As my time will allow me, because I want to prioritize the family and then my studies and then my work. Because, like someone said many years ago, if you have a tree to cut down, the best way to go about it is to first sharpen your axe. So, I prioritize my family because that's a given, and then my studies, so that I prioritize growing myself and then I can serve people. Through Amazing Life Mentorship Network, we do mentoring. We have causes that we champion. So we have a children's home that we have been working with for many, many years. I began working with them the year that I left Form 4. If I say when that is, some of you are going to be saying, oh my goodness. So just know that for very many years, we've been working with this children's home. And then there's also a ministry called Life Issues Ministry that supports the people who live in the streets, the street families. And so we work together in partnership to support the needy. As of January this year, we began planting a tree for every book that we publish. So, again, yay, you are supporting the environment and helping to conserve it even as you publish with us. Now, some of the things that we have done, some of the books that we have published include what you can see on your screen. I hope you're able to see that. Um, let's see, let me admit someone else who wants to join there. Welcome, Wambui Gatimu. Welcome to class today. Someone else has joined. Welcome, Shadrach. Welcome, Wambui Gatimu. Welcome, Shadrach. We're together with Njeri and Joseph. I hope that you will have a blessed time and also a time of learning during this session. We have already begun, so I'll just do a very quick recap of where we are so far and then we'll proceed. I'm basically introducing myself and what I do. As the founder of Amazing Life Publishing House, I'm born again. I'm a wife and mom. I'm a lecturer and student of information science at KU, where I'm taking my PhD, and I spend most of my time doing publishing work. And I was just explaining that the work that we do here in publishing helps people to know the Lord better. So the books that we publish help to evangelize, i.e., tell others about Jesus. Then, as people know about Jesus, they're getting discipled. And then, as they contact the authors and talk with them, that is fellowship. People are encouraged to share their stories and experiences to bless other people, that is ministry. And when you read the books that we publish, you say, wow, oh my God, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And you are inspired to worship God. And then when you share your story, the cycle continues. And I was sharing a bit of what we have published over the years since 2009. So you can see books by different authors. Some of these came out very recently. You may have seen them on my Facebook timeline. Like Faith in Adversity, A Grieving Mother's Heart. This is a book about a lady who lost her child, and she shares that journey of her life. We have this one, the Hagar season. It's about, no, in fact, I won't share that one. I'll just send you to watch the video on YouTube. The author had a video with Metha Yakagoni, and she has shared her story there. The Hagar season, Navigating Single Parenthood with Strength and Grace, Called to Serve by Sami Kaihori. You may have seen that on my Facebook timeline, on his timeline as well. He's really going all out with this book. He's doing a media tour as we speak. And then there are people whose books have been published elsewhere, but they have come to me so that I can help them to put their books on Amazon, like Waruguru Mushira, Stephen Moyo. We have Maureen here. And then these are some of the other books that have been published. Now, some of these are for authors within Kenya. Some of these are for authors in South Sudan and Uganda. Some are in the US, which tells you that we've been doing quite a bit of work across the years since 2009 to date. And we are still working with more and more people to reach more and more countries and reach many more people with the gospel of Jesus Christ through the works that we publish. Some of these books have been in the media. You may have seen Shouldn't She in the newspaper. There's Discovering Your Best Life Ever. This, I will say, is by my daughter. She was in the Nation newspaper. She had a whole 2 pages to herself. You may have seen what Sami Kaihori's book, of course. We have this book, The Spirit of Politics, by a leader, a bishop in South Sudan. You may have seen that. And quite a few others. This one, Cassie's Adventures, this one is from the US. And the When Life Hurts, this is from Uganda. We have quite a couple of books in different places that people have been talking about. This is on Meda Kagoni, the Haga season. You must have seen Sami on various radio stations. And I, of course, for myself, I've been covered on radio and TV talking about some of my books, which I have not listed here. If you go to Amazon, you're going to see them, quite a number of them. I think last I checked, there were 89. So you can take a look at them. Some of them are trivia books. They're fun books to read. They're fun books to participate in. Some of them are very sad, like when I talk about the loss of my son. And we'll be looking at why the variety of books in a later session. So we continue to go down. I will give you a bit of introduction of Amazing Life Publishing House and what we do and how we do it. So Amazing Life Publishing House is a Christian publishing house, and our work is to publish life-giving books. So if you're ready to write and publish your book and to sell it as well, there are very many ways in which we can work together. So, because we've worked with people like you from 2009, from an idea to actually having a book in their hands, and many other people having books in their hands for written by different authors. So, how do we do this? We have writing services, editorial services, design services, publishing services, printing services, as well as enabling you to sell online and offline. In the courses that we have been covering in the past couple of weeks, we've looked at these steps. So, the first thing that you need to do is to research when you're writing your book. So, who are you writing for? Who are you writing to? Who is the target audience of the book that you're writing? Because without that, you're not really going to be doing anything, because your book isn't for everyone. Your book is for a certain particular specific person, and you need to be very clear about that before you even write your book. So, what I was encouraging people to do is to find out the target person that they want to write, to have a profile of that person, and then address them in their specific need. Earlier, we saw that, for example, for myself, I have quite a few books that I have written, and they cover very different topics. There are many different topics that I have covered in my books. And why is that the case? So, the first book that I wrote, Becoming an Amazing Girl, was addressing the needs of the girl to help her build her self esteem, build her confidence, get to know God as her father. And I shared my journey of living without her father. My dad died when I was very young. That whole journey, that whole struggle of looking for a father figure and wanting that affirmation and suffering in areas of self esteem and confidence. And then I put together the book, and the book was addressing the needs of very many girls. I remember that book sold in many countries. In Kenya, there was also the US. The book has gone to other countries as well, and it has touched so many people because the goal was very, very clear from the beginning. When I was writing about my son losing Jason, a mother's journey after loss, I was targeting mothers who have lost their children and don't have anyone to talk with. They're not finding Kenyan resources, relatable resources that they could use in their grieving journey. And as a result, I've been able to work with quite a few moms within the country and outside the country. We've had conversations, and now one of them has actually written a book, the one that you saw up there, Faith in Adversity. So when you're writing, be very clear. Some of the trivia books are written for the younger generation, for children 8 to 12 years old, and they have a lot of fun filling in those puzzles. The reflective journals are written, some are for moms, some are for dads, so that they can each reflect on their parenting journeys and how to be better. The book, Raising Bold Boys, is written specifically for boys, helping to mentor the boy child to become all that God created him to be. So the very first to do is know, who are you writing for. That is very, very important, because that is going to determine how you write. If you're writing for children, then you use very simple language. If you're writing for adults, you use language that's a bit complex because they can get these concepts. If you're writing an academic book, then you need to use a lot of academic jargon, formal writing, very clear, proper citations, APA, MLA, and the rest of them, so that your work meets the standards of the target audience that you're writing for. And then after writing, we move on to editing. So, editing is where we prepare your book again for the reader. Your book is for the reader. I teach library and information science at the university, and we have Dr. S.R. Ranganathan from way back when, and he had 5 laws. Every book, its user, every user, his book, every book his user every user is his book, and then help the user find the book, make it easy for the users to find the books that they're using. And the final one was the library is a growing organism, so you keep expanding your growth. We're going to look at that last. So when you're editing and when you're doing your design, you're doing both of these for the reader, because every reader needs to have his book and have it in a good way. So, is the reader going to understand the images that you've used, the text that you've used? Is the language clear even for their age and for their education level? Because if you're writing a book to encourage people to build themselves financially, maybe these are people who are not very learned and they may not understand a lot of English. So you need to keep it very, very simple when you're telling them how to grow that business. And then the design part does the same thing. The images that you use in the book, from the cover, front cover to the back cover to the inside pages, all of them need to be very, very clear, and they need to send the message well to the target audience. Now, these two stages are very, very critical, and you need to choose people who are professional in the work that they're doing, people who are you very wonderful services, people who have a track record of excellence. You can see the work they've done. They probably come to you through referrals, and you can trust them because you've seen their work and you know that they can do a good job. But over and above that, there are two things that are critical for you to note when you're working with this, when you're working on editing and design. One, do your values and the values of your editor or designer or publishing house align? Do they align? Because if they align, you're going to be in for a beautiful journey. If they don't align, you're going to have a very difficult journey. Because, for example, when it comes to the word God, you might want to capitalize the word G, but if this person isn't, let's say, someone who believes that God should have a capital G, you're going to have such trouble going through your work and finding over and over again that God is not capitalized, he, him, the word of God, things like those. But to an even more sensitive level, you want to be sure of the values they uphold. Let's say the kind of marriages they support, the kind of language they use in their book. You might not want to support some of the styles that are referred to or used out there in the world. So, do your values align? That is extremely important. And the next thing that you need to watch out for is, do you have chemistry with this person? Is this a person that you can talk with, have a good conversation with, review your work over and over again before the work is complete? Or is this person going to be annoyed at you and they're going to tell you, we have maybe, I don't know, I can only do this once. And then they get angry at you and then they run away with your work and you cannot work with them again. It's extremely important to ensure that you have chemistry with your publisher, who is also going to be working as your editor and designer, because there's a team that works with that. Or if you're going the solo way of self-publishing and you're choosing an editor here, a designer there, you need to have chemistry. It's extremely important for you to have that. The other thing that we need to look at is the publishing aspect. And here we talk about having your book officially put out as your book. You're the owner of the copyright, you're the owner of the book belongs to you first and foremost, so that if you publish it correctly and anybody tries to steal your work, then you're able to go to court and say, hey, this is my work, this is my stuff. It shows that I own this piece of work. It is mine. Otherwise, if you don't have that, you're going to be basically having a photocopied bunch of papers that you're sharing with people, and that's not right. Finally, we move on to the printing stage, and this is where the book is presented in paper form, and you can actually hold it in your hands and read it and share it with people and autograph it. It's very hard to autograph an ebook, but with a hard copy book, you can actually autograph it. And here is where many people want to ask, what does it cost? How many books can I print if I have X amount of money? In a nutshell, there I will say this: it is cheaper to print in bulk than it is to print a few books at a time, but it is also more expensive because if you're printing in bulk and a book is costing you 100 bob and you're printing 1,000 books, that's a whole 100,000, which you may not have. But if you're printing what we call print on demand, if you're printing on demand, you can print even up to 50 books at a time, as little as 50 books, even 100 books. And when you do that, even if the book is going to cost you 200 shillings to print, it's just 200 times 50, which is not a lot of money compared to when you're printing, when you have to take a loan to print books for 100,000 shillings. So, printing again, you need to be very careful about your printing and your printers. Are they going to use high quality paper? Is the binding going to be good? How are they going to present your work to you? You need to be careful about all those things. If a printer goes to print and does not check the margins or the color, it's going to be bad for you. You need to have someone who's going to check all those things, print a sample, and tell you, hey, this is going to work for you, or this isn't going to work for you, and then tell you, you need to make a change here, you need to make a change there, because some of them just don't care. And some of them don't care about that. They just care about money. You don't want that. You want people who care about the quality of your book. Finally, we avail your book online and offline. What does that mean? It means that people can buy your books in hard copy or in e-copy. And one of the major areas where we put your books out there is on Amazon. We make sure that your book is available on Amazon so that people can buy the book within the app, so that it's an ebook they're reading on their Kindles and on any device that they have, or as a hard copy book that is going to be bought and sold around the world. So if you buy a book from Amazon, no matter where you live, they're going to mail it to you. So, how do the costs apply? The size of the book, is your book a big one or a small one? The nature of the book, is it academic, technical, motivational, children's book with 300 words only, and how well has it been written? If it's been written nicely, editing isn't so expensive because there's really not much work for the editor to do. But if it's been poorly written or your work, or you are going to pay quite a lot of money so that you can get good services, because every word is going to be read. You can be sure of that. Then design, again, it depends on the size of the book, the type of design. Is it text only or does it have images? Is it colored or black and white? And these things are also, excuse me, are also going to influence the printing cost. Because if your book is in color and it has very many pages, it definitely is going to be more expensive than a book that is just black and white and has a few pages. The kind of binding, when it comes to printing again, is important. Is it paperback, which is the regular books you see around? Is it hardcover? The ones that are mostly for children, or is it stapled? Does it have spiral binding? How is that going to be? That is going to affect the cost of your printing. So as we come to the end of that, I will encourage you to contact us today for your quote. And also you can reach us on our website. If you go to the website, you're going to find a chat bot there and we can chat at any time of day or night. But I will go back up a little bit because I want you to see these books again. And I want you to imagine having your book here and what that means. Because at the end of the day, once we are done with all the processes that we have talked about, your book is going to be in your hands. What are you going to do with that book? You need to market that book. And that was going to be the last lesson of today. That I've covered the rest in summary, the things that we've been covering for the past 9 lessons. But today we're going to look at positioning yourself as a professional author. How do you present yourself? How do you show yourself as someone who is actually an author? You're a professional, your books are out there, and now you need to do something with your book. What is this thing that you need to do with your book? One, you need to sell your book because you're hopefully trying to make money from your book. But there are so many ways through which you can make money from your book. You can sell the book itself, number one. Number two, you can have seminars around your book, and then people can pay for the seminar and get the book for free. In that case, you can bundle up the cost of the book into the cost of the seminar. You can talk in places where you've been invited. You can talk on TV, on radio, in churches, in schools, depending on where your book is relevant. And then as you talk, you get paid for talking, and then you get paid when people buy your books. By writing a book, you can also position yourself as an expert in that topic. Maybe you're an expert in anger management, and people will call you to speak about that or write about that, different articles now, or help you write books about anger, because now you've proved yourself to be an expert in that topic. A book is basically like a business card. It opens the door for you. If there are opportunities that are present, let's say for speaking engagements, if you're an author, chances of you being chosen over someone who hasn't written a book are pretty high, because they see that you're serious, you're invested in the topic, you have even taken time to research and write about it, which really works in your favor. And how can you put yourself out there? First of all, have the book and have it properly published, high quality. Number two, create a business card for yourself, so that, or rather, you can have your publisher do that for you. Have a business card. Number three, have some presence online. It could be your website. You might have a blog if you're not able to afford a website to begin with. You can have a Facebook profile, LinkedIn, something. Just be out there, be accessible, be visible, and be accessible to your audience, to your target audience. And where do you create that profile? You create that profile where your target audience is, because that is the way to be relevant. That is the way to meet the needs that they have, meet them where they are. So if you're speaking, let's say, to moms, where are most moms? Maybe they're on Facebook because they are a certain age and that's where they are looking for different things. So you put your ads there, you put your information there, you share information from your book, you share ads about your book, you just relate, interact with them there. Because beyond creating the profiles out there, you need to talk with people, interact with them, talk about the things that are important to them, and then offer your book as a solution to the problems that they're having. And problems here are in two ways. Maybe you're offering entertainment, which is something to make life a bit easier, or you're solving a critical problem. How do I parent my teenage child? That is a big issue. So answer questions in line with that, showcase your expertise, show that you actually have a solution to this, and then now present your book or your blog or your website as the solution, or your podcast, your YouTube channel, something as the solution to the problems that they are facing. Then, of course, when you're invited to speak or to present your work, you need to do that in a professional manner and in a way that will make people know that you're serious about this, you're invested in this, and you care about them. Because, by the way, beyond the information in your book, if you do not care about the people, they don't care about your book. It's really not about how much of an expert you are and how you've positioned yourself and all those things. It's about, do you care about the people who come to you? And I was reading a book this morning that talked about how important it is when you're treated well in a company. And you find that many people will go for companies that are probably not very well established simply because of the customer care that they get. So when people come to you and they're reading your books, do they feel a personal connection with you? And as you interact with them, you sell the book to them, they ask you questions on WhatsApp. Do they feel a personal interaction with you? Do you treat them like they are important people? Because that is going to determine how widely your book is going to spread, and whether or not people are going to tell others about your book, and whether you're going to reach more people. Because if I feel important to you, I'm likely to bring somebody else to you because I know you're going to treat them well, and the word is going to spread. So, beyond all that professional presentation, you need to treat people well. So that brings us to more or less the end of our my speaking session today, and we're going to be moving on to the Q&A, where I'm going to be listening to you and hopefully answering the questions that you're going to be having, or addressing any questions you're going to be having. And then we will be coming to the end at around 2 o'clock. So, in a nutshell, know what you want to write about, and then write for a specific audience. Do a very good job when it comes to editing and design. Follow through with official publishing procedures. Get high quality printing for your book. have it selling available online and offline so that people can buy it. And remember to position yourself as an expert in your area, and most importantly, treat people like they matter, because they do. And that's who you're writing for. So ensure that everybody you're working with, communicating with, writing to, whoever is trying to buy a book, make sure that they feel that they matter. Treat them the very best way possible, so that way you can actually have an impact in and through your book. And to that, with that one person and with the other people in that person's life, and with many people around the world. Because if you fail one person, they are likely to just not push your book further or tell anybody else about your books. And the work that we do, the people that we're working with are the ones with the money. They're the ones we hope to make an impact to, but they are also the ones with the money or the influence and the networks that we are looking for as authors. So that brings me to the end of my speaking. I am hoping to interact with you now. Please ask questions, make comments. I will be happy to respond to you. You can open up your mic, put on your mic, talk. Let's have an interaction. Yes, Joseph, please go ahead.
Oh, thanks so much for the presentation, and it's
Well,
so insightful.
thank you.
I have a question line to the whole publishing concept. Be-
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I will ask this question this way: what is the future of physical books, printed books?
Mm-hmm.
How can we improve and how can we make our ebooks uh,
Mm-hmm.
much better to the society? How do we? What is the future of publishing? Are,
Okay.
are we still going to be digital, or we are still going to maintain the printing copies? What? Maybe you can just give us an idea of what we are looking into.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph. That is a very good question. Thank you also for your compliment. I appreciate. Now, the future of publishing. Are we going to be printing physical books in the future? Yes, we are. Because publishing is not just for the kind of books that I have mentioned earlier, the ones that were on the previous slide. Publishing is also for educational books. And when you look at students all the way from nursery school to the university, they need books. They definitely need books for them to learn their alphabet, for them to learn how to write, how to color. There is a future in publishing and printing. We're going to be printing for a good long time coming. Back when I was in campus, even in my very first year, there was still that question. And the answer is yes, we are not going to become paperless. Paper is going to continue existing, and we're going to be printing over and over again. We're also going to be printing because besides the regular books that we are reading, we also have documents that need signatures beyond electronic signatures. Electronic signatures can be forged, but a physical signature, we are going to still be printing. We're going to be printing marriage certificates, we're going to be printing title deeds, we're going to be printing legal agreements. And so in line with that, we are never going to go fully and exclusively digital in my view. And should that happen, I think maybe AI will have taken over, and then everybody will have a chip in their brain, and then they can read you from wherever. But otherwise, we are going to need physical books. We're also going to need physical books when it comes to journaling, because you journal the physical way. And journaling using pen and paper is one of the best experiences someone can have. It's very therapeutic, and it's nothing like digital journaling, which I also do a lot of. But the physical journaling, pen and paper, definitely. And those journals have to be printed. So we are going to be printing. Now, ebooks, how can we make our ebooks better? Depending on how you want your ebook to be read, again, depending on based on the target audience and the needs that you're meeting, you can have PDFs that are just for sale, like just books that are being sold as PDFs or as Kindles, and can be read on any platform. you can also make those things more interactive. You can have flip books that are opening, especially for the younger kids. If they're reading a book that is flipping, that would be so cool. On top of that, you can have a book that someone can write in. So let's say you've created a journal, you can make that journal fillable online. So they read the book, and then when it comes to reflection questions, you make those parts interactive so that people can actually write their thoughts in the books. That way, they interact with the book, and the ebooks have become better. Now, going forward, we have interactive books where when you're reading a book, a lion can seem to jump out of the page and play with you. So that's a whole other world of virtual reality. And that I would say is the future of publishing, because when you want children to learn how to read or to access certain information, they may not necessarily read the physical books. And when we have special children who might say be dyslexic, they can't read properly, such kinds of interaction would be so helpful to them and very profitable. So just beyond the ebook, yes, it's an electronic book because it's an ebook, but beyond that, it can have the virtual reality aspect where the book comes alive and becomes even more and more interactive. There's augmented reality as well. I mean, there's a whole world out there that is very, very beautiful. So yes, there is more to books than just physical printing or the ebooks that we read the usual ways. And by the way, Amazing Life Publishing House is able to create for you journals that you can fill in online or books, and then the reflective parts are fillable by you. So if you'd also like to publish something like that, I mean, you're welcome to do that. We can take care of that for you. Thank you, Joseph, for those questions. Do you feel that they've been well answered? Do you have another one? Does anybody else have another question or comment? Joseph, has your question been answered?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for getting back. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Does anybody else have a question or comment? We have Njeri, we have Wambui Getimo, Njeri Mushira. Do you have any questions or comments?
I don't have a question for now. I have a comment. Thank you
Yes.
so much for this presentation.
Mm-hmm.
It was very informative. I especially like the last part.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I realize I have a question. The question is,
Okay, yes.
where was I when the other lessons were happening? How come I was not in that class?
Because you didn't join the WhatsApp group, but I can add you. I can add you and send you the classes that you've
All
missed.
right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Karibu Njeri. All right. Mamboy, might you have a question or a comment?
Thank you very much.
Karibu.
Congratulations. Although I did not get from the beginning,
Uh-huh.
but I think is worthy material, very
Thank you.
informative, and I really want to learn how to write. I think I need to write, but I don't know how to begin.
I am here and I can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I actually did a recap when you came in, so
Yes.
you really didn't miss much. I was talking about
Oh,
what we do as Amazing Life Publishing House, which I'm sure you
okay.
caught on. We help
Mm,
you with that whole journey I've talked about, and then now
mm,
I started teaching about it.
eh,
Yeah. So now to answer your question further, I will talk about the services that we offer because they're in line with this. So if you haven't written your book, we can help you write it in different ways. We can hold your hand and then you write the book as we guide you. You can also ask us to write the book for you as ghost writers, or you can write the book, speak about the book, maybe do a transcription of audio, and then we'll do the typing for you and present it in a book format. So all the options are available. You can just speak and your book will become a book. You can consult us. We hold your hand and walk with you step by step as you write it. Or you can, just give us the whole job. Give us the whole job and we'll do it for you as ghostwriters. That's the first thing. The other thing is that if you want to learn more about this in greater detail, we have courses. how to write, publish, and market your book. That is one course. There's another course also, um, selling your books in bookshops in Kenya. That is a different and separate course because writing is one thing, but selling your book, especially in bookshops in Kenya, that can be a nightmare, as it was for me when I was starting out. So I have prepared a whole course on that you can take up and learn from, and then you'll be able to, by the way, if you follow the lessons properly, in 60 days you can have a book out, published, I mean published, not just out, published, if you take the courses and you follow the steps, especially the first one if you haven't written at all. So those are some of the services that we have offer. We have those courses, and then of course if you want, because I can help you in three main ways. I can do work for you. If you want the whole journey done for you, you can buy the lessons and just do it yourself, or you can consult with me every now and then. And of course, there's a consultation fee for that. And then we can walk together through that journey, and you will have your book out in no time. Actually, for the most part, actually, in all cases, Amazing Life Publishing House keeps her deadlines all the time. It is the clients who take time to respond. Like, there's a book we're working with, we finished in July last year, but it just came out this past month. Just because the author takes a long time to give feedback. So it depends on you. If you're serious about doing this, if you just set aside an hour a day, in 60 days, you have a book. That's
Wow.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Karibu. In line with that, I will also say that you can come to us for different services. Maybe you just want editing and you have someone else who can do the design for you. That is fine. You've done your editing, you just want to come for design. That's also okay. You've done the whole process, you just want the publishing and printing. That is fine. You printed elsewhere, you are not happy, or for some reason you want to change, we can do just the printing. And on top of that, we can help you create an author brand. So we can make your business cards, your logos, your website, your banners, your roll up banners, these other horizontal ones, your mock-ups for your books, even physical mock-ups that you can use in your presentations when you're having your book launches and everything. We help you build your other brand on top of all of that. So talk to us. We are happy to talk with you and work with you and help you make your dream come true. And especially because of John 10:10, Jesus came that you might have life and have it in abundance. And that is why we do what we do at Amazing Life Publishing House. We want people to experience life, not just by giving life to other people as they read your book and so on and so forth, but for yourself. As you interact with us, we give you an experience of life. Before we start our meetings, we pray at the beginning, we pray at the end also. When we are walking with you, we are also praying and listening to God and just having that personal walk with you so that you have life even from us as we work with you. The other thing is that we pray and hope that you will have life as you write your books, because writing in itself is cathartic, it is therapeutic. So as you write your book, you experience the healing. And then on top of that, you pass on the healing to other people. And by the way, sometimes you can come, we'll interact for a bit, and you'll discover maybe that's not what you really wanted to do. Maybe yours was supposed to be a YouTube channel, and that's fine. We work with you in that area, and you blossom to become who you're meant to be. The idea of Amazing Life Publishing House is to give life, to bring life wherever we are, whoever we interact with. And sometimes we find that we're simply destiny connectors between one person and another. Then they find what they truly, truly needed. Because we don't force you to publish, by the way. After you walk with us, after the discovery calls, we discover what your purpose really is in terms of writing your book. If you discover that's not the thing, that is fine. That period of time we were together is what God intended for us to have together with each other. And then you can go and achieve your purpose elsewhere. We have had a program called Healing Through Writing. We worked with people through their healing journey. It came up during COVID, that end of year. We worked with people who are hurting and just having a difficult time. 2020 was just hard for everyone. And one of the ladies in that first cohort actually wrote and published a book from the program that we had. So it is very, very possible to write your book. So writing brings you healing. Then when you have healed, now you can overflow with joy and bless other people in your life. So that basically brings us to the end of our session today. We've covered the journey of publishing. We've covered how you can publish, how Amazing Life Publishing House can help you. You're very welcome to come on board and take on our services. We are very happy to help you. We have a team. I do not work alone. We have designers, we have editors, we have printers. I mean, I used to do a lot of printing right here where I am. So yes, it's possible for you to get very personalized support. You know, learning I know the trade, by the way, in and out, from the inks to everything. So even as I recommend something to you, you can be sure that I have done it myself over the years, having all those machines, cutting, printing, what have you, doing it myself, and then getting to places where now the bulkiness is, it's a lot. So then I have to partner with other people, and then we do that together with them. But I do a lot, I'm involved in the process, start to end. So, unless there is a question or a comment, maybe I will ask a question. From the session that we have had today, do you feel that you can actually write your book? Yes or no? Do you feel that you can publish your book now? Do you feel like there is hope?
You think I can?
Yes, thank you, Joseph. I look forward to you writing a book and publishing. And Jerry Wambui, do you feel that there is hope? I know, Jerry, I have one of your books. Do you feel there is hope now?
Yes, there's hope.
Awesome. Jerry?
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. By the way, this is outside of the scope of the meeting, but I would like to talk to you afterwards. Is that okay?
That is fine. Once
All
we
right.
end the meeting, because I'm recording, I'm hoping it's
Yes.
recording well. We'll end the meeting and then I'll give you a separate call.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. So yes, it is possible. John 10:10, Jesus came that we might have life and have it in abundance for us as individuals, and then to the other people that we get to reach through our books. Thank you very, very much for your time. Thank you, Joseph, especially for the inspiration for doing this. Joseph told me that we cannot finish this class just like that. We need to finish it in a proper way. So I hope we have finished the class properly, Joseph, and hopefully we can do many more of this together. Let me mention Joseph is one of us, and he's an excellent designer. You know, so your books are in safe hands when you bring them to us. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you very much. So, without much further ado, I will bring this to a close. Thank you, Joseph. Jerry, your mic is off. On, yes.
I just wanted to say thank you.
Karibu, karibu sana. So I'm going to end the call now. God bless you. We hope to see you again. And I will share with each of you a link to the WhatsApp group. Joseph is already in it. I'll share with you, Jerry and Omboy. Then you can join. God bless you. Bye for now.
God bless you.
Thank you.